Do you feel that it's important to understand the lineage or history of the art that you're studying?
Yes, I do to some degree. If you do not, it's okay. You can still learn the physical actions and of any art, but if you understand the person or people who more or less put it together, created it, and why, it most assuredly does help you to capture the essence of that chosen art. Each one is like I relate back to food, like what a master chef could cook you a variety of cuisines from different countries. Maybe something from Middle Europe, something from Italy, something from Russia, something from India. And each one would be good food, but they would all taste significantly different. They would have a different flair about them due to the spices and the textures, even down to how they look to the eye. Well, this is our martial arts. We live in a rainbow of endeavor, you might say. That rainbow are all these different martial arts of kung fu, karate, jiu-jitsu, every culture, every place has something. This is an awesome, awesome display, right? And if we understand that lineage or their history, sure, then you can understand their philosophy. People say, well, why are they like that? Study their philosophy side of it, not just their fighting side. And if there's usually a fighting side, there's always a healing side. You know, they usually go hand in hand. So look for something like that too. And that could be any art, any culture. There has to be. So when we look at lineage and history, we're doing this to educate ourselves. It isn't to say, well, it's in the honor of the art itself I do this. That's silly. The art doesn't need you. If the art has lasted this long, it will last without you. When you study the history and lineage, you're doing this for your own edification. And it should be seen as that. And through that study, that edification, you will be able to help others in their path to fully grasp whatever is, as I called it, the essence of the chosen art that you're doing. So it is important. But many people will say on that physical, that hard physical, one-dimensional level, no, it isn't very important. In which case it isn't. If all you're seeking is that physical, almost a paint-by-numbers effect of martial arts, you know, raise your hand, lower your hand. If that's what you're seeking, you don't need to know its history. You don't need to know why it was created. Just get with someone who does know the art. Practice the movements. They may well serve you. There's no problem. But at least for someone like me, where I teach this stuff, and I'm supposed to know like a wide spectrum, it is important that I understand history, respect that, and I think that we should also understand not just the history of the art, but the history of whoever you are training. You know, are they Persian? Are they Korean? Are they from South America? If so, where? You know, Peru, Argentina, where are they from? Well, know things about that country, that culture, not just the art you're teaching, because that will also serve you very, very well. You know, before you go in country, you're supposed to do your intel, right? Well, then do that. This is about doing that intelligence work before you go, so that when you're there, you don't have to stagger and stumble and look foolish. You already have this side of the job sort of under control. So by understanding where the art came from, the particular art's history, its lineage, who's who, but also that country where it came from, but where is you going to be presenting this now? Are you going to be teaching a Japanese karate style in Argentina, let's say? Well, you better learn about Argentina. As much as you've studied all the Japanese karate that you're going to be teaching, you'd better learn about this country you're going to be going to as well, and be able to fit that into that culture to be successful. And if you do, there it is. You've now used the power of knowing history, the power of knowing lineages and who's who in those lineages, to establish a base far, far from where you thought you ever could. And you've done it successfully. People respect you because of how you did it, not just what you did. The how you did it end of it wasn't just the physical art that you were passing along. It was that inside infrastructure that you did before about understanding who's who, giving that respect, that nod of the head to those that have what? I've talked about this in the past. Giving the nod of the head to those ancestors that have preceded us. They have gone on before us. We then acknowledge those here still on earth with us. And then we set the stage for those yet to be born, those yet coming. And we prepare things for them, for their arrival, so that they have a chance. This is why we operate on that level of three things again. So never forget this. This is all part of understanding the greater picture of the past, the present, and that which is yet to come. I'll be with you no matter what. I'm Jim Keating. Hang in there.